I don't know who this message is for, but God told me to tell you that the promises that he has for you are just up ahead. They are just around the corner. Okay? The scripture that he gave me was Luke 1:45, and it reads, "Blessed is she who has believed that the Lord will fulfill his promises to her." Last night, I was praying, and I was done praying. I was like, okay, Lord, can I go to sleep? He said, yeah. I laid down. He said, just get in, get back up. I got something else to tell you. The Lord said, we are just getting started. Whatever season you are in, or that you have just, finished going through, or you feel like, your help is coming, or that the Lord has something big stirring up for you. Oh yeah, you're right. The Lord said the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. Don't give up now. You know that song by Mary Mary, okay? Don't give up now, because the best is yet to come. Your promise is right around the corner. God brought to my attention that we go through the wilderness, we go through, strength training, different situations that build endurance, they build our faith, they build our strength, and it's not to tear us down, but to build us up, and especially for us to have faith in him, to lean on him when we don't have anything else. I went through a season where, I was praying for like a year. God, please remove anything out of my life that is not in your will, your way, your plan. Remove all of me, replace it with all of you. And maybe he did just that. He did just that. God stripped everything that I felt like I needed, everything I felt like I knew, everything I felt like was familiar. I started to get like entitlement attachments to certain things, like my car and stuff like that. He said, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. What I want you to do is sell your car. What I want you to do is move out of that apartment. What I want you to do is X, Y, and Z. And I was like, what? God, you sure? He said, oh yeah, trust me. So these, strength training seasons also build trust. You have to trust God. If you're gonna allow him to lead you and to, do what he does, you have to trust him. You have to lay it down at his feet and give it to him. Give it to God so he can just do what he does, and you trust him in the process. It sounds easier said than done, but it's possible. It's possible, because I've done it. And God is just so intentional, and he's so thoughtful, and he's so loving, and he's so caring, and all of the things. And I just thank God for where I am now, because looking back a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, things were very different. Things were very, very different, and I'm just grateful to be where I am today. And it's all because of trusting God, trusting his process, believing in him, believing in his word, and allowing him to really have his way with my life. Another thing I had to go through was letting go of expectations for things, and having an open mind. We have our own, pictures and ideas of how we want things to go and how things should be, and it's not up to us. It's not up to us. God's will, his way, his plan, God is going to do what he wants to do, whether we like it or not. We can fight him, and that will just prolong the process, or we can just give it to God and be obedient and do what he's asking us to do, and he will show us what he needs us to see. Definitely obedience was a big one for me. God was speaking to me in a way of, okay, you're wanting to, you know, move forward in life. You're wanting to do different things. You're wanting to, you know, have your dream job, for example, or get your dream house, for example, or, you know, have a kingdom marriage, a kingdom spouse, for example. How are you going to do any of those things if you can't be obedient and listen to what God is telling you to do? How are you going to work that dream job and listen to your boss if God is telling you to do this and you're doing the opposite? How are you going to get that dream house and actually know which one God has for you if you're not listening? God told you to go right and you're going left. How are you going to get that kingdom spouse, okay, and be obedient and submit to your spouse if you can't even be obedient and submit to God? No. God said, no, this is what I'm going to do. You can either A, do what I'm asking you to do, or you can B, prolong whatever it is that I'm working on, and I ain't gonna tell you anything until you do what I'm asking you to do. I used to be asking God, like, okay, God, you said do this, but can you let me know, like, why? Can you let me know, like, can you give me, like, a subtle hint? He said, girl, no. Girl, no. Do what I'm asking you to do, and you will find out what's going on. So, yeah, that all ties into your heart posture as well. If you have a heart posture of like, you know, I'm gonna do what I want to do, I'm gonna make my own decisions and pray later, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. What I learned the hard way is that God has to be first in everything in order for you to see the fruit of what it is that he has for you. You can't say, oh, okay, God, I'm gonna go buy a car, I like this one, buy the car and say, okay, God, was this the right choice? You didn't ask beforehand. God would have told you, like, no, this car has these problems, this car got a bad engine, this car gonna need tires, you're gonna have to put $3,000 into this car. But had you chose the other one, had you asked first, you would have gotten direction. So basically the message was, trust in God. He knows what's best for us. He knows the plan, you know, and when you fully submit your life to God and you fully trust in him and you fully, you know, go to him with your heart's desires and you pray and you fast and you worship and you do all of the things that God is asking you to do, he's going to fulfill his promises to you. And for some of us, they're just up ahead. They're right around the corner. So don't give up. I love y'all with the love of Christ, and I'll see you next time.